Welcome back to another episode of the Dingbat District Podcast. I'm very excited for this episode. We've got a guy who has been putting on people since he started here, and he is a god among men in this community. I want y'all to make a lot of noise, even though there's no one here other than Blake, for the Noah Shark Robertson.
Shut the up, dude. God among men.
Yeah.
I'm
Should I
nobody.
just start jerking you now? Should we just pause and go ahead to do that? There's a lot of sexual tension in the room. It's already hot.
Lower your expectations now. I'm just a dumb piece of shit.
You're a dumb piece of who's got a great heart. That's why you're great, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Well, first thing, before we keep going, will you go ahead and plug up your social media and anything you've got coming up so we can get that out to people watching?
Oh, dude. Well, we got shows at Sharks Comedy Club pretty much every weekend. SharksComedyClub.com. If you want to come check out a show. I'm trying to get like a podcast thing off the ground where I record panel shows and put them on the internet. So it's called Swimming with Sharks. But yeah, you can just find me looking for Noah Shark Robertson. You'll find me.
Hell yeah, man. I've said this on a lot of podcasts, but now that you're here, I'm gonna suck one last time, and then we'll be friends again without it being weird. If it weren't genuinely for you putting me on as early as you did into my stand-up career, I don't think I would be doing stand-up still.
Wow.
Because if I take out the Noah Shark Robertson shows out of my Rolodex of past shows I've done, it would be few and far between without you.
That's awesome.
So thank you so much.
What was your first Sharks show?
Well, to put a damper on the mood real quick, it was what turned out to be the Zach Sprung Memorial Show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because that was in like September, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had like just passed. He was supposed to be on that show.
Right.
All right. Yeah, that sucks, but so that was at Reno's?
Yeah, that was when we were still at Reno's.
Dang.
And then a couple months after that, old George Lopez, not the real George Lopez, but George Lopez got stomped out by some bikers.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever talked about that on this podcast?
Have we talked about that, Blake?
George Lopez?
You talked about the Mike Anthony was running where the dude got stabbed.
No. That was when I brought up that Anthony was still working with Noah at this point. And that was the one that you were running at Reno's, and we were there on Thanksgiving night. So,
was it? It was Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving.
Oh my
night.
God!
Now
we have to talk about this for just 5 seconds.
Before we start doing this, Blake, can I get a little more on my cans, on my tits? Thanks, buddy.
I can tell the very quick, short version of that story.
Let's go the long version because it's such a good story for such a random thing.
Well, okay, for people listening who don't know what the fuck. Biker bar in Deep Ellum called Reno's Chop Shop, and I talked them into letting me do comedy. I was the first person to do comedy there. I started doing comedy shows. They have like a whole back venue, and so I started doing open mics, and like for some reason the craziest, wildest people would show up and do these open mics.
And for some reason there was a huge mural of Pantera on the outside. It's a homing beacon for the weirdest of weird.
Yeah, it's just In
fact, bringing comedians was like their tamer part of their audience that came to that place.
Like one time a guy was like saying the N-word on stage, a white guy, and everyone got pissed. And then like on his way out, he said he was going to come back and shoot up the place and kill everyone.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about the other white guy that said the N-word, and then the only reason that didn't de-escalate very badly was because Mighty Mike went, no, and then he looked and saw Mighty Mike, a 6'3" black dude that's just chiseled to the bone. He looks like had it. He almost looks like a little bit smaller Francis Ngannou with a James Harden beard.
Oh,
but he sounds like somebody from Cool Runnings, or somebody from Friday when that guy's like, I can't get jiggy with this. That's Mike, dude. I can't get jiggy with this.
So George Lopez.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so a guy shows up to the open mic. He goes on stage blackout drunk. He's bombing. We're fucking with him because that's what we do when people bomb. We start fucking with them.
And just to put a little more context into this, he was like third on the line.
Yeah.
It was something. He was already blackout before the mic even started.
He was wasted.
He was just there because. Well, now that
I don't think he had ever done comedy.
He had never done comedy.
For the record, it's not the George Lopez. It's just some other guy that says his name's George Lopez.
Yeah. Well, you're saying that like he still does. There's no way he still does comedy after getting.
No.
out of him. But he just walked on stage. His opener was, "I'm Mexican, so you can call me George Lopez." I'm pretty sure that's verbatim. I'm trying my best.
Yeah,
but
something like that.
If not,
it's probably recorded. I bet I could go back and
Dude,
find.
it's
I
in
should
the
go back and
archive.
find it. Yeah, it's in
Holy
the archives.
Do you ever like watching a TV show you regularly that comes out all the time? Just go back and watch your archives.
Well, the archives from the Reno's days are like live streams.
Right.
So like there's all these live videos I'd have to go through. But man, we should find George Lopez. But yeah, he was doing bad, and it was his first time doing comedy, and we messed with him a little bit. And
But not to a ridiculous extent.
no,
Same
the
extent
same
that
as we do
every-
anybody.
Yeah.
But when you're drunk and you've never done comedy, you like some people don't take it well.
Yeah, they don't understand the ribbing is from a
Yeah.
good-hearted place.
Oh yeah, totally. We're not doing it like as a f you. We're doing it as a like we're putting you through your paces to show you what you're gonna have to go. Like we're testing you out as a new comic to see if you're gonna be able to have the resolve to keep doing that.
It's a very like old school like the people above me did this to me, so I'm doing this to you.
Yeah.
And you'll do this to someone else. It's very pay
Little
your
light
dues.
hazing.
Yeah.
You know.
Light hazing without someone getting a sausage up the
Yeah.
Or if you remember my bonfire story, getting set on fire, putting out a bonfire at
Yeah.
Tarleton. Oh, also alumni at Tarleton. I forgot
yeah.
about that little
Tarleton
connect.
Bros, dude.
Look at that. There's mine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't actually finish, so thanks for rubbing it in.
I shouldn't have finished. But I got my senior year and junior year was during
Yeah.
COVID, so I got to cheat a lot. So it was nice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have.
Just like when me and your mom hooked up, you know, she didn't finish.
Yeah. Well, that'll happen.
I tried though, man. I really went for it. I dropped out 3.5 years in studying music education so I could tour and be a rock star and do all that fun stuff. But
I mean,
all right.
you're doing music education anyway, so
Yeah, exactly. I'm a music director at a music school, so you know it worked out. But
you're doing the Lord's work. You're teaching children music.
all right, George Lopez. We're getting sidetracked. Paxton.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's good. It's a it's a free flow conversation.
Yeah, we were just talking about how yesterday this podcast should have really been called Scratch and Sniff because we get into nothing
Yeah.
but touch on everything.
All right, so all right, I'm just gonna finish this. I'm gonna go straight to the juicy stuff. George Lopez gets off stage. On his way out, he reaches behind the bar and grabs a bottle of alcohol and tries to walk out with it. The owner, Steve, confronts him, and they get into like a physical altercation. And this Mexican dude named George Lopez pulls out a knife, and in their scuffle, he slashes the owner's neck, and he's bleeding everywhere.
And the
And then
fatty side, not like jugular part.
Yeah, he didn't like kill him, but he he drew blood.
Right. It was a bad thing, but
Yeah,
thankfully it wasn't in the front.
That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
But like the cops came and like a bunch of people like stomped this guy and like beat his ass and they drug him down the street. There's like a trail of blood leading to the cop cars. It was insane. Those are the kind of comedy shows that I do, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. The number one thing I remember from that night after he got dragged off was some big biker dude that basically looked like have you seen Deadpool?
Yeah, I went and saw it last week.
No, well, the first one. Do you remember Moose?
Oh, yeah.
The big dude that kind of looks like you?
I don't know. I'm gonna shake my head and say yes, but I have no idea.
He's bald, he has a
Yeah.
beard, and he's just humongous. He looked like that guy from Deadpool, Moose. And he just turns around and goes, "Happy Thanksgiving."
Oh yeah. By the way, yeah, that's the cherry on top of the sundae is that it was Thanksgiving, and this guy is acting a fool like that on Thanksgiving.
Poor guy.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. Black Friday from jail. That's tough. Oh man, what were we just brought something up that I meant to bring back.
We were talking about George Lopez. We're talking about Tarleton. We're talking about Reno's.
Oh, we were talking about that's the kind of shows you run.
Oh yeah.
So I was gonna throw out my own show that I've been on. Yeah.
You were on a show. You were on a shark show that went crazy.
No, I wasn't even thinking shark show. Usually yours go good.
Yeah.
Except for that one time we smoked the biggest blunt in a very small room at the first sex closet.
Oh yeah.
Which we'll get into the sex closet 1 and 2 and the
All
whole
right.
history of it. Also, while I'm thinking about it, we'll talk afterward. Blake, remind me about his video. Just remind me after the end. I was doing one with one of the guys that he actually used to be Jamie's co-host at Outfit, if you know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
That
guy.
He used to put on a series of shows, and if it wasn't a shark show early on for me, it was one of his. And his shows were always, they were doing a variety hip-hop show.
Nice.
And it was 16 rappers and then 4 comics at the very end. And
Oh,
because,
no.
because you've done it, you understand it. It was also at Haltom City Theater.
Oh, no.
So it started at 10 p.m. We went up at
Oh, my God.
1:30 in the morning, 1:45, and then just that. It was me, that guy, Bill King, and
Dude.
I can't even remember who the first guy
That's
was.
paying
with
your
us.
dues.
That's exactly what you're talking
That is
about.
paying your dues.
You got to work at a comedy club at some point and then fucking do those shows.
Yeah.
As much like, oh man, those empty shows. You got to do a show in a weird place at some point. Like as much as he
You got
sucks,
to.
there was an old Crystalia bit that I loved about when you're first starting out in comedy. You do comedy in like laundromats.
Dude.
You're gonna do some weird.
Yeah. Like, my first book show I ever did was at the Comedy Store in Hollywood. So.
Oh, I forgot about this story. No, you got to tell this.
Oh, I wasn't going to tell a story. I was just going to say that, like, you go from that, or, for instance, last night I did Dallas Comedy Club, and it was amazing. It was a great show. The crowd was super into it. I felt like I did a great job. I crushed. It was really fun. But, like, a couple weeks before that, I'm in Fort Worth at the Stockyards at a place called, I won't name the place. But, you know, this lady from, like, a radio show was, like, saying how badass the show was going to be, and, like, she was paying us well, and I was like, man, this is going to be awesome. And I show up, and I'm doing comedy for, like, 2 people. Like, 2 guys. One of them's wasted.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to, like, I don't know. I've done the craziest comedy shows. You really do have to pay your dues and, like, do everything and anything at first.
As much as it probably won't benefit me to say this at all, I do kind of enjoy those shows sometimes.
Yeah,
every
I do
once in
too,
a while
yeah.
when you just get to go, do you want to hear my shit or can we just talk?
Yeah.
And
It
you
makes
just
you appreciate the good shows, you know?
that, and it's I get to sit down. That's my biggest thing. When I get to sit down and it's not gonna get me flack like it did for the first 6 months of my career.
Yeah.
I just get to sit and like, hey, how are you doing? I put a leg up. I did it at the mic after our show a couple weeks ago. I just went and sat right next to that guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes early on in my career especially, I would put myself in those situations on purpose just to put myself through the paces. Like, I went and did a black comedy room
Yeah.
in Killeen, Texas, where
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah.
a lot of gang activity. And I was like, dude, I am going to get booed off the stage. I'm going to get stabbed tonight. And, like, it actually went well, and I did really good, and I learned something that night. But, yeah.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure from my time doing black circuits like that, as long as you don't do humor as a white guy,
Yeah, they don't
they'll
fuck
give
around.
it to you.
They don't around with gay none of that, dude.
They'll around with a little bit of gay shit, but you can't do like a minute and a half of gay shit. 'Cause you're like,
Yeah.
all right, are you gay? And then like then you lose half the crowd.
Yeah.
But and there for a little bit when I would go to Arlington Improv on the mics, that would be how they knew me. They didn't remember if I was funny ever.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't remember if they hated me or not. It was just neither that. But it was just like, oh, white guy that doesn't do humor. I was like, I'm your guy.
Oh, yeah. Not a potential school shooter.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
damn it, Blake. I'm sorry. I just realized now that I've said that word like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Oh, yeah. YouTube.
Basically anything that's on Legion of Skanks, probably
Yeah.
the
I get it.
4-letter R word, the 6-letter R word, and the P word that I just said.
Yeah, I got it. Well, maybe we should change the subject.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, we're doing the Lord's work here.
Yeah, dude, totally.
But I did want to talk about your career in music because that always fascinated me. So you were with a band called Motograder, right?
Yeah, I used to be in a band called Motograder. I was a huge fan of the band before I joined. I had their posters on my wall, and I got the opportunity to join that band after I was in a band called The Browning.
The Browning. I haven't heard you talk about.
Like,
The
I've been
Browning.
in a lot of bands, but the first band that I was in that got a record deal and we toured the world and like did all this crazy stuff was called The Browning.
Hell yeah.
And we were very successful. We got to tour Europe and go everywhere and every state in the United States. And when I left that band, I saw that Motograder was reforming, so I sent them a message. And instead of like them ignoring me, they were like huge fans of The Browning, and they were like instantly messaging me back saying, "Dude, I can't believe you want to be in our band." And I was like, "What? I can't believe you want me to be in your band." And so I got to join Motograder, and I got to drum on the second album, which is crazy because I was a huge fan of the first album. So,
Right.
but yeah, Motograder's a crazy band, dude. You got to put a picture of the band like up on the
Right.
screen at
Okay.
some point because
Blake, so-
Motograder looks crazy.
Motograter.
Yeah, Motograter. And the lead singer is famous for, after Motogrator, he's now the lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So you know the lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch?
Yeah, he's come to our shows, and he's a huge fan of what we're doing now.
He hasn't come on any of the shows I was booked on. What the Noah?
Yeah, that's Motogrator. We look crazy.
That's Noah, right there in the front, isn't it?
No.
Oh wait, no.
No, I'm the
Wow,
fat,
dude,
hairy
you have a
guy in
twin.
the back.
The guy leaning very forward. If you were a little like calmer, that's you, with wet hair. Yeah, but no. Now that I see it, that's
I'm the
definitely
fat, hairy guy in the back.
that is you.
Yeah, Motogrator's Motogrator's a pretty well-known band from back in the 2000s. They were part of the nu metal era, and had a song on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre soundtrack. Was on Ozfest, music and video games, and so there's a big fan base. Like when we play shows, people go crazy. They're singing along. But what's crazy is like I actually had a huge falling out with that band.
Oh,
and we got into like they sent me a cease and desist. Like, well, this story comes full circle. I got the last
trying
laugh.
so hard to be positive.
No, I got the last laugh. You're gonna love this. So a lot of the members are like crackheads, heroin addicts. Like it was horrible, especially the main guy who thought like he owned us and owned the band, and they had like taken off and left me stranded in Omaha, Nebraska, and like I had to rent a car and like follow them and get my drums back. It was like this big ordeal, right? Well, a couple years later, I hired an entertainment lawyer and I basically took over the trademark for the name. And now I own Motogrator.
Oh my God!
What the?
Yeah, so I reformed the band, and like a couple months ago, we went and played like the largest rock festival in North America, and like. I got rid of that guy, basically.
Dude,
so
you're Jerry Jones. Have you heard the story about why the Cowboys hate the Washington football team franchise?
No, I'm not a sports guy, really.
I figured that's why I just panned it to you just in case.
Yeah.
In case you did. But so early on into football, before the Cowboys were a football team, they had to auction to all the other team owners if they were allowed to join the league. And everyone in the league said, sure, why not? We need more teams, except for the Washington football team franchise, and they turned them down because of that. And then at that very moment, their fight song, the Washington football team's fight song, they bought the rights to it, and every time they played it, they were getting sued.
Oh,
so
wow.
they had to stop playing their fight song. He's like, I'll give you back your fight song if you let us in the league. Dude,
wow.
You're Jerry Jones.
I'm Jerry Jones, dude. I'm the Jerry Jones of nu metal.
You're Jerry Jones of new metal, and you're actually really just Jack Black from School of Rock.
Yeah. No, I was. What's funny is when I left the band, I was with them a lot. Like you're gonna be able to appreciate this. I owned the website when I left, so they put a poll up for all the fans, and they said vote for what you want our next website to be, and they had all these URLs. Well, while the poll was going on, I went and bought every URL on the list. So
they told you.
So whenever they got done with this poll, they were like, "All right, we're announcing our new website," and then they went to try to buy it, and like I already owned all those websites, and they're like, so they hired a lawyer and like sent me a cease and desist. But like I'm cool with a lot of these guys now, except for one of them.
Can I guess? Will you tell me if I guess?
Sure,
it?
You can guess which one.
Okay, you said he thought he owned the band.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of did in a way, but
okay, so that almost tells me exactly who it is.
The band was never gonna do anything while he was in it.
Not Dreadhead guy. Dreadhead guy is a cool guy. I guarantee it.
That's him.
Oh, me. Damn
That's
it.
exactly.
I really
guy.
thought it was gonna be albino Manson over here.
No,
Yeah, that's who I thought.
Nah, it's the old guy. But nobody's heard from that guy.
He's
in a
the
long
Mick
time.
Mars.
We don't know like what he's up to. He could be strung out on crack. He could have turned his life around.
He's Dirty
by
D.
now. We don't know. But yeah, I still do stuff with that band from time to time. We're trying to write new music right now, actually. But
really,
yeah, I have a Motogrator tattoo. This is the logo right here.
that's sick.
But anyway, I still do music stuff. From time to time.
Well,
But
that's what
I'm getting older, and like comedy is where it's at for me now. So
That's where I was getting at. You're literally Jack Black. You got kicked out of the band unreasonably, and
There you go.
now you teach children.
now I teach kids.
And it's so funny too, because like when you first look at Noah, he understands exactly the way he comes across. It's your like 2 minutes of your set. We get what you look like.
Yeah.
But then you actually get to know Noah, and he's the sweetest fucking person in the world. And then you learn that he genuinely loves teaching these kids. I mean,
Yeah.
other than the fact that they're children and working with children is a pain in the ass. But you love getting to do what you do, and it's so cool to get to see you do that. Like, the biggest smile I've ever seen you had was from one of your showcases. You told me you had one kid just nail.
Right.
What was the fucking song? Because I was just in awe that your student had fucking even had the gall to try that song.
Oh shit, I couldn't think of the specific song unless I knew which student you were talking about.
I almost want to say it was like they picked a Tool song.
Oh yeah, like Numa or something like that, or
Yeah.
like something like, or yeah, it was probably a Tool song.
Numa is a 10.5-minute song by Danny Carey, one of the greatest drummers of all time. So
It might have been a Tool song. I don't know if it was Numa, but yeah, seeing those kids like pull off crazy songs that like a lot of adults would have trouble with. It's pretty cool. It's rad. Yeah, and I teach kids of all ages. I have like 4 and 5-year-olds that I teach in a class called Little Wing, and then we have a class. We have a class called Rookies that's like for 6, 7, 8-year-olds. We have a performance group for like teenagers and 12-year-olds and stuff. And then I even have like adult band that I
really?
teach old people that are in a band. Yeah.
oh, that's kind of fucking sick.
And like basically we teach them how to play a bunch of songs, and then we like book them a show, and we put on like a rock show. And like it's really cool because you see them come into School of Rock like not knowing anything,
Right.
and then all of a sudden they're playing a concert and they're like total rock stars, and it's the coolest thing in the world. Yeah,
Dude,
it's
we
awesome.
need to hook up your two veins and just have one of your taught bands end and headline a comedy show.
I've done it.
Oh, you have?
Sharkfest.
When?
The last Sharkfest, our house band from School of Rock played. They opened the show, and then we did a comedy fest.
Fuck,
Yeah.
I was late to that one.
Yeah. School of Rock played one of my shows.
Wait, they opened the festival?
Yeah, they opened the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Because like they can't be there for the comedy, so I like
Right.
I had them play, and then I was like, all right, kids, you got to go home, and then we started the comedy show.
Right,
So,
the kids. I was
you know,
thinking
when
like,
you got George Lopez's running around, you know, you
Yeah.
can't.
Jesus Christ. Takes a kid as a hostage.
Yeah, he just slits one of the kids' throats.
I got a bottle of tequila and a child. But no,
Yeah, I keep. I live a very. I live like
Two lives.
Yeah, I live 2 lives. You know, I'm like this music teacher guy that teaches kids and encourages kids, and I'm like a role model and a mentor, and then, dirty piece of shit comic by night, rock star by night.
I'm a fucking pig person by the end of the day.
No, I say rock star in jest. I don't think I'm a rock star, but
No, dude, you're a fucking rock star. You're teaching kids how to play music.
Hell yeah.
I would have killed to have a musical bone in my body. A lot of people in my family
Didn't
were.
you play something? I thought you played an instrument.
No, I wanted to. I wanted to be on the drum line.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to be on the drum line or try saxophone. My parents said no to both.
Oh, wow.
Because they didn't want to hear me practice, and then told me to go lip sync in choir. I'm like, that's pretty good.
Oh,
No, that was pretty okay. I
Hey,
didn't
it's
want to
never
sing.
too late, bro.
That's my next thing. I'm not good about spending money on myself, but as soon as I get a fat paycheck, I'm getting an at least electronic drum set.
Oh, do it. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I've also considered, like, when I was still a part of Swim with Sharks Entertainment, when I was a part of the...
What do you mean when you were?
Because I used to be able to be your guy, and now it's fucking Thomas Gunter. He took my limelight because he sings that ASPCA song at the end
I see what you're
shows.
saying. Come on, dude. You're still part of the crew. You're still a shark.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm not going to slit my wrists. I'm just kidding. Gotta get
Yeah.
ahead of that.
You know what's funny? We're kind of getting sidetracked here, but
Scratch a sniff, baby.
just like random thoughts that are in my head right now, and based on like what you just said. Lately, like the past couple weeks, I've been getting so pissed about DFW comedy, and like everyone's just pissing me off, and like some of these strange and unusual characters that are like the usual suspects that come around Sharks and my shows. Man, these guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah, man.
I need to get rid of some of these assholes, dude.
We were talking about it, Blake and I, beforehand, in that there are a lot of comics who are, whether they're very funny or not that funny yet and could be something as soon as they just like keep working on it, but their downside is always ultimately not having any sort of business side to their brain. Like, they don't
Not at
understand that, like, even if you're the funniest person on earth, if you're impossible to work with, you're just a funny guy that someone knows.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, at a certain point, you gotta stop getting fucking blackout drunk or getting on stage on 3.5 grams of mushrooms, which is my own personal exact reference I'm talking about.
Yeah. Comedy's tough. Like, I thought that when I was in the music business a lot more and touring full time, I thought dealing with musicians was rough, but man, comedians are batshit crazy, dude.
Yeah.
They come with a lot of baggage.
Yeah, because
Some of them.
is it with musicians that everything they do is at least after the show? I
No.
feel okay.
No, but
I would be fine with any of these fucking pig people doing anything after the show, but beforehand, just have your tequila and then take a breath, go over your set, stop looking at your phone. I can't talk too much shit. I kept looking at my phone last night, which, by the way, your girlie killed on last night. She was
nice.
great.
That's awesome.
Denton Comedy Spot. I like to shout them out because they're new, but please go check them out as well as Sharks Comedy Club online, Swimming with Sharks Entertainment. They're both fucking great. They're doing great things for the scene as a whole, whether it's in Dallas or in Denton. So if you're a part of both and you like checking out live comedy, please go look up both of those websites. But more so Swimming with Sharks Comedy because he's sitting right here, and he's bigger than me.
The last thing I'll say about that, only reason why I'm saying I've been getting pissed off lately is because, like,
talk your shit, bitch.
I'm somebody that I really hate drama and I really hate bullshit. I just want to have a peaceful, fun time. I just want to be cool with everybody. I just want it to be all love and fun and jokes and comedy. And like these comedians, they bring it to me.
You give them an inch and they take a fucking mile.
Yeah, they try to like drag me into their shit, and like I just don't want to be a part of it. And then I get forced into all these conversations I don't want to be a part of, and it's really hard. I'm such a nice guy. I know it sounds weird saying, "Oh, I'm such a nice guy," but like I really do care about people a lot, and I have a lot of empathy.
Right.
And I want to help people, and I want to. That's the reason why I do everything I do. Like I'm a teacher for a reason. I'm a booker for a reason. I started a record label for a reason. I like to help people. I like to like bring everybody around me up, and I like to give musicians and entertainers and artists a platform. But man, some of these people make it so damn.
You want to take
tough.
that opportunity away. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
now I don't want to do this for you anymore.
I don't have the heart to like tell some of these people to just fuck off and like I hate you. I want to murder you. You know?
Yeah, I don't even know if you remember this, but I remember at one of the early Sharks like Comedy Club 1, I think. I was on a show and I was around early helping you set up because at that point I was the only person that would get there early to help you. And someone had walked up as a comic in the scene, but they were a fan because they weren't on the lineup, but they were trying to get on.
Oh, yeah.
And they came up and said, hey, can I get on? And you're like, yeah, sure, why not? Because that's the type of dude you are. You're always willing to give someone an opportunity. But then he goes, can I go on like right before the headliner? And you go, and then I go, no.
Yeah.
It was a piece of shit thing for me to do, but I just looked at the guy and I'm like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
Like some of these people they don't have the second step of like, I completely understand closed mouths don't get fed, but also
That's insane.
pick your chances.
Well, it's like what you said a second ago. You give them an inch, they take a mile. Hey, can I squeeze on this show I'm not booked on? Yeah, sure. Can I go on right before the headliner? Bitch, I don't even know you or know
can I
if
go
you're
on
good.
after the headliner? So you want to be the headliner?
Yeah.
You could be first on the open mic. How about that?
Yeah.
Which is also, I want to bring that up. You're the only person that fucking does that, and I'm so grateful for that.
What?
That puts on shows in the scene, and then right after is still hanging out, so has an open mic.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what a lot of people don't realize about that, and I don't I feel like some of the things I say I'm like tooting my own horn or something, but
no, toot your own horn. You deserve it. No one toots your horn. So
I don't
this
talk
is why
about
you're on
this
here.
stuff a lot, so it just kind of comes out when I'm
Right.
sitting here like bullshitting with another comic, but like what people don't realize is you know, if I do an open mic Friday after the show, if I do an open mic Saturday after the show, it's not like I'm getting paid for that or compensated in any way. I'm just doing it because I'm trying to provide comics with as much stage time as possible. And these people still bitch and moan and like cry about everything, you know.
Yeah, especially on a Friday and Saturday night. A lot of these comics can't come because they're working there. A lot of them restaurant jobs. You have to work a certain time period, and then you see that Sharks is open till like, I don't know, I never stay that late because I'm an old man, but like what time do y'all actually close the mic? Like midnight, 2? I can't even remember.
We go as late as I go until everybody's gone on stage pretty much. So.
You go until everyone's gone on stage, and then you'll just turn to the audience because you're such a great guy and go, who wants to do karaoke? Like you're just there
and then I
for
start
the
running
hang.
karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like you and Jamie click so well because that's the same thing you have. Like he did that after like the past 3 open or Outfit Brewery open mics in a row.
Yeah.
He just turned to me and like, want to do karaoke? I'm like, Jamie, I love you, buddy, and I will click Mr. Brightside for you to play every time. But I am not singing with you, man.
I know. He loves karaoke. We were doing karaoke. Oh, you were there. We just went to his like wedding ceremony thing or wedding celebration thing at Outfit. And that was cool.
What song did you do? Did you?
I did What Is Love.
What Is Love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, that was good.
Speaking of that fucking wedding doing karaoke, what about? I thought it was hilarious because right before we walked inside, I was outside talking shit a little bit about the new Deadpool and specifically Channing Tatum's lack of a Cajun accent and the fact that he just spoke French, and it pissed me off.
I thought it was decent. A lot of people on the internet seem to agree, but maybe I don't know anything about that accent. And
The more I shit on it 2 days in a row, the more I've been told wrong. But like, I'm basing it off of specifically the family that I hung out with a lot when I was a child. They were all Cajun, and they sounded nothing like that. Neither did their relatives. But also, maybe I'm just fucking biased.
right.
But
I'm about to make a name for myself up in here.
I'm about to make a name for myself, Joe.
I'm about to make a name for myself up in here.
But yeah, like at one point I was sitting in the movie and I could have sworn he just poupé le tout le vous. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, you Frenchman?
Yeah.
But no, I was shitting on like the fact that he had a lack of a Cajun accent, and then we walk inside and the DJ, he just talking. That's Cajun.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted as my fucking gambit. Blake, you missed it. You should have come.
To what?
Jamie's wedding reception yesterday.
I was thinking about it, but I remembered that I do not like Jamie that much.
Oh yeah,
We
they've
have
got
our
a
beef.
feud
Yeah.
Oh, really? Why?
podcast.
Oh, podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
He sucks.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they love to yell at each other, and it's also nice because when they're yelling at each other, I kind of get to scoot back in my chair and just kind of sit there and take a breath for a second, and just turn my brain off, and then come back to.
No, it's all hypothetical. I love Jamie. I was just got caught up in
They
shit
kiss in that
yesterday.
closet that Blake's trapped in.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
That's
pay
why there's
money
no
to see
door
that.
right now is because I had to fucking take it off the hinges because they kept going in the closet.
Wow.
It's also funny is Jake's dad sometimes watches this podcast, so I'm just hoping he hears that.
Yeah, you have your own sex dungeon.
Yeah, David Jakes, your son's gay.
It's in a fucking closet.
Even though he
You
just
have
got
your own
married.
sex closet.
It's not even
worse
my
than a
sex
sex
closet. That's
dungeon.
what's worse.
That's worse than a dungeon. I'd rather be in a dungeon than in a sex closet.
Yeah, a 4x4 closet.
So I've accidentally brought it up and forgot to keep bringing it up and put context into it. But I do want to talk about the evolutions of Sharks Comedy Club. Because say what you will, and I mean this as lovingly as possible, because you've said this before too, as much as they want to take you down, Noah Shark does not fucking quit.
I know, man. I'm like the cockroach of DFW comedy.
It was Reno's first, and then
Shark
a lot of
roach.
people forget to even mention this. I don't think you brought it up because it wasn't necessarily Sharks, but there was Reno's first. Then it was Back Porch. What was that fucking outdoor place?
Cheapsteaks?
Cheapsteaks. There was
Well, I booked a lot of places. Deep Ellum Brewing Company, Reno's, Cheapsteaks. I booked a lot of places. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
Deep Ellum
even
Brewery's
I used to
gone.
book Haltom.
Yeah,
Comedy at
I
Haltom.
forgot. Yeah, because I almost had an opportunity to get on that show too, and it was my first week doing stand-up.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, dude, I think I have 3 minutes. I'm like, I can't.
I basically wanted to start my own comedy venue because a lot of the comedy clubs in town are kind of pissing me off as far as how they do run and do things.
Right.
Like, first of all, too much politics, very cliquey. It's hard to get in. They reuse and recycle the same old people over and over again. At the end of the day, I was disappointed with how they weren't developing local comedy.
Yeah.
They weren't developing people. And like I wanted to give people a spot where they could go and rise above being an open micer and like actually work out 10, 15 minutes, a 30-minute set, get in front of a real audience. I wanted to give all the other guys a chance. And it's been actually very cool to see how many people have started on my shows.
Yeah.
Like so many people tell me their first shows ever were on my shows.
Right.
So that's
and
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
funny to think too, because like I go hang around DCC when I like got a show or I'm on the mic or whatever it is, and when I started out in comedy and I'd hang out at DCC, there were none of the Sharkites at DCC, and now you
Right.
look around, and you're like, I see you motherfuckers, you snuck
Yeah.
in here,
You snuck in here.
but like
Yeah.
as much as they wanted to keep you down in the scene, not specifically DCC. DCC always
Yeah.
had we were always cool.
DCC's very supportive of everything I do. We just don't see eye to eye, and we kind of butt heads a little bit. They're of the opinion that I bring a unruly crowd and unruly comics. Kind of wild.
As much as I
characters.
love them, I side
Yeah.
with them.
We're kind of the island of misfit toys, and I've come to accept that.
Yeah, you're the most sane of your clique.
I
and
know.
That's a problem.
Dude. I appreciate that you said that because a lot of people like lump me in with the people that are around me and they think that I'm like crazy and that I have like rated R comedy, and it's like, dude, I'm not even that bad. It's all these crazy fucks around me that are the You know,
it is pretty quick into your set that you talk about getting naked and fighting people.
I get it. You know, I understand. Yeah, I have like a rock and roll vibe to me and everything. I get it, but you know, I'm not really. I'm not that bad. But
Yeah, you're all like, there needs to be a place that isn't filtered. There needs to be places that are filtered for sure, but there needs to be a place that isn't filtered too, so someone can come and actually speak like certain things out.
yeah,
Sometimes like. Now that I'm in a space where I can go and hit sharks, and I can also go and hit somewhere like Backdoor, that's the strictest. You have to do 3 minutes of completely clean material. It's not even club clean.
yeah,
Whatever that means by their definition, but it's very strict. And honestly, if I hadn't have started at Sharks, I probably wouldn't be able to do clean now, because you go to Sharks and you see
exactly.
you see what people are doing wrong in the right way by overusing dirty shit.
Yeah,
You can be dirty in a good way, and your dirty can still be clean.
totally.
But there are a lot of people that when they first start, because they don't know what to do, they just do shock comedy.
Yeah,
And Sharks will usually beat that out of you in the best way possible. You have to you got to get your 10,000 hours, and you've got to admit when you're wrong at your own pace. You can't be told you're wrong.
Yeah, that's interesting. The direction that you're taking this, because like it's something that I think about and talk about a lot, and I don't think a lot of people in DFW comedy realize.
Mhm.
It's like they think that I am encouraging this stuff, and that like I want all these dirty, messed up comics to come do my shows. And
No, you need a place to
what
go
I'm
fuck
doing
up.
is like I'm trying to help these people develop into something more than that, and like for instance. You know, I have a buddy who's been doing comedy a long time, and he used to do really horrible stuff on stage, and I found out it's because he went through a lot of really horrible stuff in his life,
Right.
and he didn't understand until I told him, hey, people are coming to a comedy show to escape the horrors of reality, and then you're just like
Bringing it
throwing
right
it
back
right
in,
back into
baby.
their face, you know. And I was like,
They keep pulling me back.
you have to. It's a delicate dance you have to do. So like a lot of these comics that come and do my shows that aren't welcome other places, I try to help develop them into like
so they can get back to those
acceptable,
places.
yeah, mainstream. And I tried to explain that to a comedy club once, because they like banned one of my friends. Like they heard his set, they thought it was way too dirty, and they immediately just like outed him, and they're like, banned, you're banned. And it's like you could tell these, you could give these people feedback,
Right.
and say, hey, this is why this is what you should work on. This is what we found in your set that we don't like, or that may not be acceptable, or that the audience doesn't really like. You should work on that and come back. But instead they just like push them out and say fuck you.
Yeah.
And like I try to like help these people and like develop them, and yeah,
That was
the whole point of me doing what I do.
It's funny to put this into this perspective, but when I was in college, I had to retake one class in college. I failed it because I just didn't understand it. I had a terrible teacher with it. He didn't ever tell me what I did wrong. He would just give me a 50 on my paper and say it was wrong.
Right.
And then it was the only time I ever went fucking Karen on someone, but I filed a complaint at the end of the year. I'm like, this guy isn't here to teach children. Because even at college, you're still a child, and I still need some guidance, and there's no guidance. He's just telling me I'm an idiot. And then I told it to the next lady that was teaching me that, and she goes, oh, yeah, he got fucking canned, like the next semester because of my complaint.
Oh, wow.
And
That's good feedback.
yeah, you're the people, like, it's nurture versus nature, but you still need nurture. Like, oh, you're a nurse shark.
Nurse shark, that's me.
Now whip out a tit. I'm hungry. Great effect. It wasn't necessarily what breast milk might sound like, but that was something else perfectly.
Yeah. I'm lactating right now. Oh, well, you were talking about, you wanted to talk about the evolution of sharks or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
You know, I was doing comedy. I basically just wanted to launch my own thing because I wanted to be able to book the comics I want to book. I want to develop new talent. I want to also just be able to say and do whatever I want to say and do, and not have somebody tell me you can't say and do that.
And run a different format.
Yeah, just provide more opportunities for everybody all around. So I rented a room at a place called Pro Rehearsal.
Yeah.
It was like a 400 square foot box, and I put tables and chairs in there. By the way, if you go on YouTube and look up the history of Sharks Comedy Club, I made a documentary like video that explains all this, and it's kind of cool.
So that's what I was bringing up to Blake earlier for him to remind me. But if you want to, I would love to put that in this episode.
You could put it at the end if you want.
Yeah, I would love to. Blake, is that something we can do? Just clip
Yeah.
that right onto the end of the episode?
Yeah, as long as he gives us permission.
The history of Sharks Comedy Club. I give you full permission to use the video. It shows you the entire history of everything that we've done. But yeah, it started in a little room. You did it. Everybody called it the sex dungeon. But,
well, you called it a sex dungeon first.
but it was no.
And you called
no.
it the sex dungeon in front of my parents, if you don't remember correctly.
I was saying that because people were saying that. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, you might have been right. I think you were the first one to say it on a microphone, though.
Yeah.
We called it the sex dungeon behind closed quarters.
And even though it was a little 400 square foot room with like tables and chairs, I made it nice. I installed lighting. I put stage. I put curtains. It felt like a nice little cool.
It was a
comedy
kill
venue.
box, dude.
Yeah, it was great.
It was kind of
awesome.
the vibe that a lot of comedy clubs are missing because they're spacing out too much. But the regular OG comedy shows, you were shoulder to shoulder with people.
Yeah,
And
sardines.
it might have been a 24-seater like you had.
It was, yeah.
Well, I just meant like the other
Yeah.
hypothetical clubs. But he had a 24-seater, but you were sitting next to every other person. You had 5 comics that were just hanging out, standing up in the standing-only room in the back. And it was just a fucking vibe. Like, it was so fucking loud in
was
there that
fun.
you could hear out in the parking lot through the soundproof door in the back of the venue.
Yeah.
So, that was the first iteration of it, and then we had to copy and paste it into the second place.
Yep. They put a note on the door. Dude, what's crazy is Pro Rehearsal's been around for like, I don't even know how long, 20, 30, 40 years. I've been in a ton of bands that rehearsed there. I've shot music videos there, podcasts. I recorded albums there. And like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks after I launched Sharks Comedy Club in that place, they put a note on the door and said they're closing the doors and like getting rid of it. And I was like, what are the chances of this?
You've got the shyest touch.
Everything I touch turns to shit. No. That's not something you want to brag about.
I'm sorry, but it just came to me.
So yeah, then my friends Abigail and Zach Bigelow, they were opening a new music studio rehearsal facility, and they said, hey, you could do it here. So like we basically just copied and pasted, like you said, and did it again, and that place took off even more.
Yeah, that place was very
There
fucking
was-
fun.
Man, sometimes when we did the open mic there was too many people to even be in the room. They're just everybody's out in the hallway. And
I
that
remember
was crazy.
this specifically the second week of Sharks 2. You showed me the open mic list, and it was at least 35 people.
Yeah.
You just showed it to me like, look at this. I was like, holy fucking shit. Because if you don't understand, a normal open mic is 19 people.
Yeah.
Around that.
And
To get 35
around 20 is a
fucking
lot, yeah.
people is crazy.
We were starting to get 35, 40. We eventually broke the record, our record, at Buzz Brews later with like 50-something comics signing up on one night.
That was such a great venue for where we were needing it too.
Yeah.
Because you were just at your first step of needing to branch out and get a bigger space. And then for it not lasting all of everything it needed to be, it was it served the exact purpose we needed it to.
Yeah.
Alongside with the bartender that gave us some free drinks every once in a while. That was pretty choice.
But yeah, they basically, at Sharks 2, which was at Legacy Hi-Fi Studios, the landlord was looking at the video footage one day and saw that there was just so many people like hanging out.
Yeah.
And they got spooked and thought the city would come and shut them down. So they said, hey, you got to move out.
Yeah. In
So
the
I
best way
was-
possible, they saw how thriving we were.
Yeah.
But I completely understand because we had people loading the hallway down that
Yeah.
fucking stretch, that L bend.
And the whole reason for doing Sharks 1 and Sharks 2 was to get like kind of proof of concept.
Yeah, you
So
wanted to
now
build
I
a
was-
resume.
Now I was loaded with like all these show flyers, all these proof of ticket sales, all these pictures of packed shows, all these videos. And so now I was like, okay, I need to make it like the next thing I do, I want it to be bigger and better. So I put a call out on the internet like, hey, restaurant owners, venues, clubs, bars, I've done this thing, I've built this thing, and I want to come, team up with you. And then this guy hit me up, and he was like, hey, I'm the owner of Buzz Brews. I just bought it. We're not really doing great. Come in
Yeah.
here and do whatever you want. And the moment he said, do whatever you want, I was like sold. I was like,
Was
I'm
it
moving
always
in.
that way? Like he stayed, do whatever you want up until basically the end?
Well, what I did was I was very hesitant
Mhm.
at first, and I was like, let me do a couple open mics there.
Yeah, dip your toe in.
Yeah. So I did an open mic, and then after the open mic, he basically called me and was like, do whatever you want.
Right.
And as soon as he said do whatever you want, I was sold, and I like transformed it into like comedy venue inside.
Yeah.
We changed the seating, we put curtains in, we put lighting, we like, installed speakers. Like I made it like into like a makeshift comedy venue, and that place took off. I mean, that was
That place was
packed
so
shows.
fucking fun. You'd
That was
actually get
great.
foot traffic, which
Yeah.
was
I kind of miss Deep Ellum. To
yeah.
be honest.
That spot was fun, but also, I mean, it served its purpose.
Yeah.
We get foot traffic at Frankie's now too.
Yeah.
I've literally seen people sitting at the bar upstairs, hear the show go on, close their ticket, and go downstairs.
Totally.
Or maybe not even close their ticket.
Yeah.
They just went downstairs. So, like, you're getting foot traffic. It's just... Buzz Brews was pretty fucking tight.
Buzzers was cool. It was a stepping stone. And then, one day out of the blue, somebody bought the building and decided to turn it into an African restaurant. And they did me dirty. Because they called me and they were like, basically like, you have 1 day to get your stuff out of here. And I was like,
yeah,
all
that's
right.
fucked
sorry.
too. Because I remember at the start of the deal, you were saying they were going to give you like a chance
Yeah,
to earn
they
your
said they were
spot
going to let me
there.
do comedy there still. And well, I guess it fell through, the entire thing.
That's fucking
Like they took their
wild.
sign down and it says for lease now. So they never even launched.
Oh, the restaurant. Yeah.
They
I saw
never
that.
even launched the
Yeah, fuck you,
African
bitch.
So I thought that was pretty amusing.
Yeah.
But now we're at Frankie's. A comedian named Casey Coleman
Love
reached
Casey.
out to me.
He's
and he was
his
like,
episode's coming out this week, I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's the one that told me about Frankie's. He was like, dude, you should check out Frankie's downtown. They have a basement that I always thought would be rad for comedy. And the first time I saw it, I was like, this is where I need to go.
And the only problem you had, you fixed it like week 2 or 3. You just got that TV in
Yeah.
front of that pillar.
Yeah.
And that was your one last thing to fix. And ever since then, dude, it's crazy to... As dumb as a comic's brain is, when you can look to the sides of a comedy venue and there's people sitting on the sides too,
Yeah.
and there's depth into where they're sitting,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't sell out a room, sometimes you do. You get as much depth as you can, but they're spaced out, sitting all the way up as close as they can on the sides. It's such a cool fucking feeling, especially for someone as dumb as me. Like, I have to pitch half of my jokes as leads.
Yeah.
So I go to, what's your biggest fucking fear? He saw it last night. So that lady did not like when I did that.
No, she did not want to be called on.
Yeah, and I tried to make it better by saying, what's your biggest fear? Other than me asking you this question, she's just like, yeah. I was like,
I know. I hate whenever you try to talk to people and they're like not responsive at all.
yeah, it wasn't crowd work show, so I get it. It was on me, but I was just trying to lead, and I'm like, well, you buried my lead. Thank you. I just walked away from her. I never looked at her again.
Yeah. I do a bit about fighting people and I'm always like, you ever fought anybody, sir? And sometimes they're just like, hey. And I'm like, all right, okay, moving on over here.
I've done that too. You're like, what do you do for work? Accountant. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
this is on me. I should have known better.
Sometimes they give you gold, Sometimes somebody's like, yeah, dude, I fought this guy last week and like, cause he stole my brownie or like, like they give you like something cool to go off of. But a lot of times they're just like, hey.
And it's so funny too, because if you're holding a microphone, as long as you don't get like a fish, like just stranded out of water, like you were saying,
Yeah.
you can get most people to say whatever they want to. Like I was at
Totally.
DCC, Peyton Payne's mic on Sundays.
Nice.
And I was doing that, and I was just on the fucking microphone talking about therapy, and I heard a lady woo. I go, you go to therapy? She goes, yeah. I go, what kind of therapy do you do? She goes, kink therapy. I'm like,
Oh.
the sun is out, and you just
Yeah.
told me you go to kink therapy on a Sunday. Go to church. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, you just, because I'm holding a microphone, you just let me ask you anything?
That's awesome.
That's crazy. And then she said she was a cum slut, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get off the stage.
Dude. Yeah, that's perfect.
We're at 50? Perfect. All right. So we got a little bit left, but let's keep talking about Frankie's. Frankie's is going
Yeah,
great.
shout out to Frankie's. We're at Sharks 4 now. We're in the 4th iteration. It started in the Sex Dungeon and Pro Rehearsal. Then we went to Hi-Fi Legacy Hi-Fi Studios. Then we went to Buzz Brews and Deep Ellum, and now we're at Frankie's. Shout out to Frankie's downtown. They have a place called Frankie's Underground, and it feels like a New York old school comedy club. Because you go downstairs and it's a vibe, man. You got to check it out.
It's got
Sharks
like,
Comedy Club.
It's almost got like jazz lounge vibes.
Yeah.
But then you go down there and you hear comedy and it's fucking banging, because it's the same thing with Graffiti Pasta that I was talking about with Blake. It's because of the concrete walls down there. Shit just slaps off of it.
Yeah.
The laughs sound huge, and because people are sheep, if one person laughs and you can hear them laugh,
Yeah.
they'll start to laugh. It's such an easy chain reaction down there because it's nothing but a fucking kill box.
Yeah. And you want like low ceilings and
Right.
like enclosed space for comedy. So it just works. And it's really fancy and nice. Like when I approached Frankie's, basically I noticed that they didn't really have anything going on down there all the time. They wait and rent it out for like private events, which are rare, 1 or 2 a month, and they charge like $5,000 to do an event down there.
Right, but if they got a consistent
it's
frequent
very
flyer,
fancy.
yeah.
But they even told me straight up. The lady said, "Look, we get approached all the time over the years, people trying to do stuff down here, and we always say no. They don't want to do anything outside of their private events." But I had that crazy proof of concept when they saw everything that we had done with Sharks Comedy Club. They were like, "We got it. Yeah, For
as much as I don't like Bert Kreischer all that much, he said one thing that sticks with me constantly, in that you can't be a bad comic if you're undeniable. You literally became undeniable with these things. This resume you've built, and that Frankie's had to take you in. That's sick that you have this reputation now, that you are this showrunner that can. I mean, you did what you did, and not some great places, and you made them successful.
Yeah, totally.
Like, otherwise, half of your venues would be storage closets.
Yeah,
at some point.
I mean, look at Reno's. I haven't been there in like a year or two, and it's still going strong with comedy. Like, people still doing comedy.
You created the foundation for that.
A lot of these local comics don't even know that I was the one that like started that whole thing, So
isn't that weird? Dude, it's weird to talk to, because a lot of these new comics don't end up talking to the older comimics that are in the scene, like more experienced comics, I should say, in that they don't get the history lessons. Because, like, I've heard about places like, for example, there was a place in Denton called Smokestack, and it was apparently a hot spot for just crazy people, and it used to be the spot you go hang with your friends to make fun of the other people.
Oh, I see.
And then it shut down before I started comedy, but I would hear stories about this. And then now that it's into this weird era post-COVID, each era is like 6 months, and then they just funnel in and out. Like, so, like 100 people will start comedy for 6 months. Fucking 98 of them will quit. There's 2 that are stuck around, and then they just fucking consume the fucking new group, and it's weird.
Yeah,
like no one's sticking around anymore either. Like I can't think of anyone really from my class. Like, there aren't many.
I know what you mean. There's a high turnover rate when it comes to comedy. Yeah, you see people come and go like quick. They find out that it's not for them, or it's not something they want to do,
or it's only when they're in town during summer, or something weird like that. Like,
I just love comedy, and I love creative endeavors, and I love art, and I love performance. And so no matter what I ever, like, I'm not trying to get to some like crazy level. I mean, that'd be cool, but no matter how high I go, I'm always just going to want to do it and like be involved in it, because I just love performing arts and stuff. So it's fun. It's a cool thing. And I just, I'm on my own like path of like, I just want to get better. I've taken a lot of classes. I read a lot of comedy books. I watch specials. I study comedy. I love comedy. It's just something, I'm on my own personal journey. Some of these comics are like really trying to fight others and claw and tooth and nail their way to the top. And I'm more of a like, let's all go together, and we're one big happy family.
Yes, dude. That's one thing that I say. Like, I really, at some point in my life, I want to own and manage a comedy club if stand-up for me doesn't work out.
That'd be awesome.
But I want to be one of the first clubs that doesn't have a non-compete law, because that kills everything.
Bro, I've been dealing with that lately.
Like, why don't you want a comic to come in town
it's insane.
And go do one set at one place? If he's got one set at your place, what's the big deal if he's going to make it to your spot and is warmed up already?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
I mean,
or come back the next week and still be at the other place, so he's building a reputation for the next time he comes to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. It's just,
I can understand that more with like touring comics, but they try to do that with like locals.
Yeah.
And it's just like insane that they won't let you go do another comedy club if you're doing theirs, and it's just weird. You would think they would want people to develop and like build a fan base, and like, I don't know, they're weird. It's a very antiquated way of like doing things and thinking.
Yeah,
about things.
when I started, I just fell superficial to the ideal of 10,000 hours. You put in 10,000 hours, and then you find out who you are, and then go from there.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're trying to take away my time. Like, fuck you, because we know exactly who I'm talking about right now. But like, they were at one point, because of shit that we were doing, they cut me out of what they were doing when I was working there.
Yeah.
And I got pissed because I told them from day one, I'm like, I'm here. My number one thing is being a comic.
Yeah.
I don't have this second job right now, an hour away from where I live, for $8 an hour. This isn't saving my life. I'm here because at
You
that
want to be
time,
around comedy.
I want to be around comedy, and I'm glad that I did, as much as I hated that job, because now headliners know my name. They don't know who the fuck I am, but they know my name.
Yeah, totally.
Because they just saw me and you're like, oh, hey, what's up, Paxton? And you're like, I got you checked in or whatever. And like, that's all it was. And going back to talking about paying dues, you got to do shit like that. You've got to understand how a club works. Like, you've got to run one to understand it or work at one to see behind the scenes of it. But a lot of these people are just trying to take from the scene. There's not a whole lot of people giving back.
You know what? There's too much fighting going on. You know, there's a lot of fighting. Everyone's fighting for survival, fighting for opportunities. No, if you want to do the,
I'm down for a little bit.
If you want to end on that,
We got a little bit of time.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. That's enough for a game.
yeah.
So
This is a quick thing I want.
will you explain the game to me and
Yeah.
everyone at home?
All right, we're gonna do a bit called Super Fight, and this is a great exercise. I like this game because as a comedian, it's like a writing exercise, but
Right.
on the spot. It's like an improv game. Kind of.
Right. Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're both gonna create a character
Okay.
with these cards, and we're gonna argue whose character would win in a fight.
Okay.
And we're gonna assign attributes, weapons, like extra things to these characters.
Well, that's
based
kind
on
of
the
fucking
cards.
sick. It's comedy D&D.
It's really this is a drunk game I used to do at my open mics and stuff.
That's fun,
And
dude.
we could do.
We
a
should
quick round
you
if
should
want.
replace the briefcase of destiny for a little bit with this.
Well,
and teach
yeah.
like
People called me out and they were like, "Oh, you're just using cards that are already written." Because I used to do Cards Against Humanity.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
that'd be something-
briefcase.
yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, you're just
well, then suck a dick, sit down and write me some. As someone who's been working with you long enough, I know that me, you, and sometimes Greasy Gordo are the people that writes everything that
I
goes in the
know.
briefcase of destiny.
Some
I'm
of them,
still waiting for someone to pull my card that says "say the N-word" because I know I know I'll hear about that.
All right. Let's try this. I'm gonna mix up these cards real quick so we can get this going.
Good Christ, dude! I really need to spend some money on this AC restoration.
Yeah, you should put like a little window unit, $89 or something.
I
100
I
bucks in
should
here.
have brought one over here, but
It's
the only
all
thing
good.
about the one that's in my bedroom is it's so fucking loud.
Oh, I got you. All
Yeah,
right.
we're sweating out, and it's gonna get hot and sexual after the episode is done.
It's all good.
Yeah,
We're having a good time, man. We're
having a good time.
We're riffing, dude.
Did you watch Dusty Slay?
Dusty Slay, yeah.
I
We're
gotta tell
having
you, we're
fun.
having a good time.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
Have you ever seen him?
Yeah, I have.
Oh God,
He's one of Bargazzi's guys, right?
yeah. I love what they did with the Degenerate series on Netflix. They just have like a bunch of people's 30-minute specials,
Yeah.
and doing comedy as much. I don't think an hour special or an hour-long set is as beneficial as it used to be.
I don't think so.
A lot of
people
people
have low
wanna,
attention spans, bro.
Yeah.
I tried to watch Rogan's last night, and 20 minutes in, I was like, all right.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
got the gist.
Yeah. Not that I won't go back and watch the rest, but, a 30-minute special is pretty solid these days.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it definitely is.
I mean, you just got to deal with TikTok brain.
I've even seen some of these Austin comics putting out 20-minute specials lately.
Yeah.
I think
Did
they
you ever
realized
meet
the
Mark
same thing.
Pugh? He's from Austin. He's come up here and
no.
done the DFW series of Mike's a couple times, but he just put out. He didn't call it a special. I think he called it a Mark Pugh's 600 normal instead of calling it
I
a
see.
special because it was like 10 minutes long of him doing the
Right.
Red Room at Hyenas, and I appreciated that at least.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a special.
30's good.
Yeah.
30's where you want to be. What did I say?
Oh God, I think it's the heat that's getting to me.
All right, let's do this real quick.
Let's do
All right,
this.
so you're going to pick one of these white cards. I'll pick one too at random. I'll go with this guy. Don't look at it yet. We might. Here's a bonus one for you as like a sidekick, maybe.
Gotcha.
I'll put my bonus sidekick here. 'Cause
Love a
sometimes
sidekick.
it's funny to like introduce a sidekick if we can't like determine who's winning.
You get a card that says a fat Mexican.
maybe
And you're like,
the-
oh, I get Greasy Gordo.
And I'm sorry, I forgot this guy's name.
Blake.
Oh, Blake. Maybe Blake can be like our judge for this.
Oh yeah, you're the dungeon master.
All right.
You big nerd, you.
All right, so here's a couple attributes for your main character there.
Can I look at these?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
No, we don't. It makes it funnier if we don't see them yet.
Right. Perfect.
Let's do a little bonus one, and then maybe a couple attributes for our sidekicks. All right. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Super fight.
Super fight.
Round one. All right, so let's introduce our character. You go first.
Okay. Do I just say what it actually
Yeah,
says?
yeah.
I'm the devil.
Okay, the devil. That's pretty intimidating right off the bat.
Paul F. Tompkins and Dave Grohl.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if mine is something religious as well. All right, you're the devil. Well, guess what, buddy? The devil is gonna have to go up against the Pope. Okay, I did not plan this.
Who would have guessed it would have been Dogma?
Oh my God, the devil versus the Pope. Ooh, this is a. I kind of wish I was the devil, but that's fine. We'll go with the Pope. All right, so the devil. What next?
The devil is armed with a bow and unlimited arrows.
Oh my God.
For the devil, that's kind of gay.
You know what? I know, right? That's weak. Flaming arrows.
He's just fucking Hawkeye.
Yeah, he's Hawkeye, but the devil. All right, well, guess what? The devil armed with a bow and unlimited arrows is going to have to go up against the Pope. 10 of them.
Oh
10
God.
popes.
It just instantly became The Matrix with John Smith.
Dude,
or Agent
yeah.
Smith.
And I don't care how many bows and arrows that you got over there or how unlimited they are. 10 popes, that's a lot of
Yeah.
You're going to get the devil's going to get touched up, buddy.
I might win, but I'm not going to go down unscathed.
That's true. All right, what's your next attribute there?
My next attribute is 2 extra legs. So I'm the devil centaur with the fucking bow and arrow.
2 extra legs? That might come with extra other parts, and these 10 popes are interested.
Ooh. 2 extra legs, that's 1 more wiener for sure.
You're a 4-legged devil armed with a bow and arrow with unlimited arrows. Okay, that's fine. I have 10 popes, and they're figuratively on fire. 10 flaming popes.
And literally.
And literally.
Okay, so what is the figuratively? Because they're gay and touch boys? That
They're
kind of worked out.
They're on fire. They're horny. They are horny. 10 horny popes.
They've got the red flush.
All right, let's see what our last card is.
I am the devil armed with a bow and arrow and unlimited arrows, 2 extra legs, and a wall crawler. So I'm guessing like that thing from Zack Snyder's
oh my
Batman?
God. You 4 extra legs and a wall crawler? That is scary, dude. And you're the devil? That's fine.
You're screwed.
I don't know about that because not only do I have 10 popes who are figuratively and literally on fire, but they can't stop clapping. That's actually a detriment.
How did that?
Okay, I'm going to have to bust out a sidekick on this one because this is not doing the job.
It's not doing the job, but it lined up perfectly with the Pope being on fire and never clapping. Dude, the Pope is always clapping.
Why are they can't stop Well, they can't stop clapping and they're
Cheats. Oh.
You know, they're on fire and they can't stop clapping. They have the clap. They have an STD. All 10 popes have an STD actually. But you know what? I'm gonna have to pull in some big guns on this one, because my sidekick, alongside my 10 popes who are figuratively and literally on fire and can't stop clapping, is a pirate. All right, so now you're really doomed.
Is it at least like Pat Turndike from Dodgeball? Pirate Pete? Arr, me.
These 10 popes are like, in order for us to go against the devil, we're gonna need some type of nefarious character. And this is what the popes could come up with. A pirate?
I've got a jaw, dude. I've got a jaw, dude.
All right, who's your sidekick?
All right, my sidekick, arming me, the devil, with unlimited arrows, 2 extra legs, and a wall crawler, a high school marching band.
An entire marching band?
Dude, I'm going to be so pumped up, especially if it's like an HBCU marching band. So they're just way better at music and rhythm together.
It's the Sound and the Fury from Tarleton State University.
I'd be fucking amped like a linebacker walking ready for the Super Bowl. Just, I'm going to hit somebody!
Okay, that's fine. But guess what? My pirate is armed with a poison-tipped lance.
It's called La Lance. Hello. Did y'all ever see A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger?
Yeah. Great movie.
This is actually a weak team.
Yeah.
No,
It's a fun team, though.
I won't submit. I'm a pirate armed with a poison-tipped lance, and I'm the sidekick to the popes, 10 of them, who are on fire and they can't stop clapping. They have an STD. And he has a poison-tipped lance, so he has an STD also.
So you've just basically got the Pope. They already have STDs, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Damn it.
Well, and the Pope's going to go after the marching band first.
He's going to have to. He's going to have to fight my sidekicks who don't even have powers yet.
It's a high school marching band.
With the power of black soul music and handcuffed to a golf cart. What?
Yes. Your high school marching band is handcuffed to a golf
How
cart.
many people are in a high school marching band? That's so many people on a golf cart.
Oh my God, handcuffed. It's getting kinky over there.
It is kinky.
But guess what? My pirate with an STD also is bionic. He's friends with Elon Musk. He just got the Neuralink. So
What the fuck is this game? It sounds like something Duck and Trussell made up while fucking also writing Midnight Gospel or whatever the show is. You know who that is? The guy that does
Duncan
a bunch
Trussell?
of
course.
acid.
Yeah, he's great.
Alongside the high school marching band, which is handcuffed to a golf cart, I'm carrying a baby. So one hand is handcuffed, the other hand is carrying a baby. So my sidekick is done. My sidekick
Your
is
sidekick's
just
done.
out.
All right, we're gonna have to go to the judges on this one. This could go on forever.
All right, Blake, I know how your brain works, and even with no sidekicks, I'm still a four-legged devil with two penises
I think the wall. I think the wall crawler is.
with the wall crawler.
Yeah, because you're just gonna get on the wall and then you're gonna shoot arrows down at the
Exactly.
flaming popes and the gay
The popes are on
pirate.
fire. They're not the Human Torch, so they can't fly. I'm out of fucking I'm spider
And
crawling on the
not
wall.
even that. I think the popes are going to be more concerned with trying to the marching band than they are trying to.
Oh my God, that is a great point.
Yeah.
They were suddenly distracted by
high
your
school marching band. That might be too old.
Nah, dude.
Middle school marching band, maybe we're talking. But
Yeah, they're not interested.
high school marching band, get the fuck out of here.
They're too old.
It's like Leonardo DiCaprio. They've got their limits.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun.
That was
You
very
know,
fun.
we tried our best.
We
I
need to
tried
do
my
this
best.
not at 3 p.m. so I can get hammered and play this game.
This is a great game when you're drunk because people are like, "No, you don't understand." He's
Dude, I'm telling you, you could have a 3-hour podcast, just one round of this with Jamie Jakes. He will
Yeah.
fight you tooth and nail to win.
Yeah, and we all know that Jamie Jakes is a hunchback
Oh.
who's 3 stories tall and his clothes are way too tight. So he's a hunchback that's 3 stories tall. His clothes are too tight.
Yeah, that kind of lines up.
Yeah.
He's not a hunchback, but yeah.
He looks like a wizard with a ketamine problem.
Yeah. And this guy over here, Blake, you know, we all know that he is a Spartan. Blake, you're a Spartan in a berserker rage, and you're covered in spikes, and you can match your opponent's size. So
Dude, that's
good.
the best one so
Yeah.
far. You just
Yeah.
actually
what the
pulled out
fuck?
a coolest superpower.
All right, Blake wins.
Yeah, Blake won.
Good
The
job,
fucking
Blake.
judge just cheated, dude.
That's Super Fight,
horseshit.
ladies and gentlemen. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but could be.
I need to get that.
We
game.
need money.
Yeah.
Also, this is some delicious liquid IV that you gave me. Also, not a sponsor.
Could be. We need some more money.
What else can we bring up?
We tried
No.
Liquid Death, but they didn't ever pick up.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
They're a billion-dollar company now, I think.
Holy
Really?
shit.
Which is insane.
Water in a fucking
I'm,
can.
I'm pretty sure I saw a statistic or a article about how like they built a company to $1 billion selling water in a can. It's the marketing, bro.
It's the marketing, and also like as someone, I could drink water out of a hose and water out of an Ozarka bottle, and it'll taste the same. I'm not one of these people like Ozarka water, blah.
Yeah.
But out of a can, it is better. I don't know what it is, but it is better. I like it.
Speaking of marketing, my good friend Paxton Bailey,
Kissing.
Sharks Comedy Club. It's a killer comedy club. Sharks. A killer comedy club. That's marketing. All right, now go to the video. No.
But right before we do go to the video, will you go ahead and plug up your social media one more time, the website, and where else they
Sure.
can find stuff and what else they should find of you?
SharksComedyClub.com, SwimmingWithSharksEntertainment.com. If you go on the Instagrams or the Twitters or the Facebooks, Facebook's where it's at for me, but I'm old. You can look up Noah Shark Robertson. It's Facebook.com/SharkDrummer. And or you could just Google me and you'll find a bunch of weird stuff. I have a website, NoahSharkRobertson.com. That's all my plugs.
All right, and then if you'll follow me at pbailey_comedy, Dingbat District Pod on both on Instagram. You can follow me at Dingbat District Pod on TikTok as well. I post clips on there almost every day. Please subscribe and like the YouTube channels. They come out every single Tuesday. Noah's episode is going to be coming out here pretty soon as well, and that's going to get clipped up. But other than that, let's roll the credit of Sharks Evolution. And thanks for sticking around and watching. Nice.
Does your life suck? Are you bored? You need Sharks Comedy Club.
Hey guys, and it was really small. That's what she said. And this guy knows what I'm talking about.
A few moments later.
They